A young couple meet and marry, but an affair rips their family apart and makes bad blood between former friends. The new couple has a lot of problems and a collection of guns at their disposal. Simmering hatred erupts into violence. Authorities are twisted and turned in a labyrinth of deception as they dig deeper and deeper to discover who pulls the trigger on Helium Road. Amarillo is the Spanish word for yellow, and the name of the 14th most populous city in the state of Texas. Settled in 1887, the name probably sprang from the color of Amarillo's subsoil. Houses were once painted yellow to honor the name. Today, Amarillo is the home of the only nuclear weapons assembly and disassembly facility in the country, which gave rise to its nickname, Bomb City. The state of Texas is considered to have some of the most relaxed gun laws in the United States.
Three WT students were sharing a house out in rural Randall County, west of Amarillo. They were on their way to their house when they drove down Helium Road and saw this vehicle on the side of the road and what looked like maybe a body, and they were afraid to approach the vehicle, but they called 911 and the sheriff's department was dispatched fairly quickly. They had identified the victim as Robin Spielbauer.
Robin is a young woman with a domestic bent. Inspired by her parents' happy marriage and thriving careers in the United States military, she wants the same kind of life and to be a mother. But Robin is conflicted. While she aspires to a clean-cut, nice man like her dad, she is also attracted to bad boys.
Robin was a military brat who moved with her family from North Dakota to Amarillo, Texas in 1995. Robin began working at a local cafe in Amarillo, and she soon met Jeremy David Spielbauer in 2003.
Known as JD, he tells her about his service in the Marine Corps, with combat time in Iraq and Afghanistan. The pair becomes inseparable.
Robin and JD's relationship progressed very quickly. Robin's parents, the Bledsoes, were surprised at how quickly the relationship progressed. However, they trusted that their daughter was making good decisions, and ultimately they just wanted Robin to be happy, and it seemed as if she was happy with JD.
They met in 2003 and married in 2005. After she and JD married, they had 2 children.
But parenting comes with new stresses, and cracks begin to show in their relationship. The couple decides to attend church, hoping it will strengthen the foundation of their marriage. It's at the church that the Spielbauers meet a young criminal justice student.
JD and Robin, from time to time, attended church at a place called Cowboy Church. It's south of Amarillo, and Katie Phipps was also attending church there. And for a while, Katie and Robin actually struck up a friendship.
Robin was friends with Katie and trusted Katie in her relationship with JD. However, JD was telling Katie that his relationship or marriage with Robin was on the rocks and that they were headed for divorce. Robin and JD started going multiple times a week. Some of their friends questioned what their newfound interest in the church was, and some of them believed that it wasn't the religion that was drawing them to the church.
Katie babysits for them occasionally, and sometimes Katie's daughter sleeps over at their place.
Katie became very close with Robin and JD, and they welcomed her into the family. Robin didn't notice that the relationship between JD and Katie was growing until it was too late.
The two lovers proclaimed their feelings. Robin files for divorce, and once it's finalized in 2013, JD marries Katie.
JD and Katie had a lot of things in common, including their love of firearms. Between them, they had quite a collection of guns. There was stress in their marriage because Robin was still involved in their relationship due to the fact that JD and Robin had children together. Katie didn't like that and was jealous of the fact that Robin was still involved in their lives.
Robin moves back into her parents' home with their children in 2013, and she struggles to make ends meet. JD and Robin fight incessantly over visitation rights and child support. There's an incident where JD needs to borrow part of a $400 a month child support payment to Robin to pay for his household with Katie.
Robin is mad and depressed about JD and Katie's new marriage. To make matters worse, the newlyweds moved in down the street from Robin's parents, so she frequently had to see them while she was at her parents' house.
There was a lot of animosity between Katie and Robin, and everyone knew it. It was no secret. Everyone knew it.
With tensions high between Robin, Katie, and JD, it seems like just a matter of time before they boil over. After a series of texts, Robin tucks her two children into bed and tells her mother she'll be back later. Katie picks up her son Diego and takes him to spend the evening with her best friend. JD is in the company of someone as well.
He calls his Uncle Ty, and Ty comes over to the house, and they drink a couple of beers and talk.
Robin leaves her family and goes out into the night to an undisclosed location. Little does she know, this will be the last drive she ever takes.
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on getting you the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. But don't worry, we've got a lot more than that going for us. Woo! Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have flip phones like the Iris Flip. If you're someone that doesn't need all that mumbo-jumbo and just wants something simple. And now, we even have watches.
We do.
No matter what device you choose, you'll be happy to know that if your data needs change,
No problem.
with our SmartFlex feature, you don't have to sweat it. Like say you're on a road trip out west and end up using a bunch of data. We can simply flex you up to the next data tier for as little as $5. Then, when you get home, you can flex right back down with no penalty, so you only pay for what you actually need.
With Consumer Cellular, you get the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost.
I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Will our award-winning customer service help me switch over or add a line for $15 to make my own family plan?
Of course they will.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
You see that tower out there? It's a beauty. And there are thousands more like it, working hard for me and you, supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of ours. We know how important coverage is. That's why we offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation, you can pay nothing. Oh, look.
New customers who buy any phone get 2 months of service free when they sign up by July 31st. Call 800-311-5340 or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Before I would ever give a product to a patient, I tried on myself. So I started taking Super Beats, and I said, wow, Super Beats is a game changer.
It's given me the energy that I want, the blood pressure support that I need.
Circulation, heart health.
And you feel like you can get things done.
I really am feeling a difference.
I just love it.
Over 1 million people have put Super Beats blood pressure support supplements to the test. And today, we have over 80,000 5-star ratings and reviews. We're trusted by over 120 pro and college sports teams. Super Beats is the only #1 doctor, pharmacist, and cardiologist recommended beet brand for heart health support.
It helps dilate blood vessels. It helps increase my circulation. It's having a beneficial effect on my heart and my energy. It makes me healthier.
My grandkids say, Grandma, I can't keep up with you. Where do you get your energy from? And I said, Super Beats.
Get a free month supply, plus free shipping and a 90-day money-back guarantee on all bundles, exclusively when you call or visit superbeats.com.
Everything Breaks is a new kind of auto protection plan that gives you more. You gotta have a protection plan, or you'll be paying the huge cost of auto repair on your own. Some plans charge you $150 a month, but for less than $1 a day. Everything Breaks can protect you from crippling auto repair bills that you can't afford. Call the number on your screen now for a no-obligation quote.
I like Everything Breaks because they have lots of different plans. It's really affordable, and they have really good customer service.
Everything Breaks also includes 24-hour roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental cars. With our loyalty program, you can earn rewards like free oil changes and brake pads. Everything Breaks covers more than cars, so act now, and coverage for your smartphone will be included free. That's auto and phone protection for one low price. It's only a matter of time until something breaks, so don't wait. Call now to join the millions of satisfied customers and start saving thousands on your repair bills.
Call 800-313-9059 or visit everythingbreaks.com.
Tessa won over $5,000 for losing 87 pounds. Christian won over $2,000 for losing 64 pounds. Introducing Healthy Wage, the incredible weight loss motivator that lets you bet on your weight loss and pays huge cash prizes. Featured on Good Morning America and The Today Show, Healthy Wage has paid tens of millions in prizes. The average winner loses 40.7 pounds and gets paid $1,245. Choose your personal goal, and Healthy Wage calculates your real cash prize up to $10,000.
It was super simple. 1, 2, 3. You do this and you get your money. So I put my numbers in there and found that I could win over $1,900 for losing 50 pounds. If someone's going to actually pay me to lose weight, why not go big? The icing on the cake was the $5,600. Your life is going to change for the better.
Now join the thousands of weight loss winners. Don't miss out. Find out your prize and win real cash for losing weight. Make a healthy wager today and win up to $10,000.
The True Crime Network. Download the free app.
Amarillo is the 14th most populous city in the state of Texas. It is in Amarillo that J.D. and Robin Spielbauer marry and have children. But J.D.'s affair with a mutual friend turns into a messy divorce and remarriage. The three former friends struggle to be civil. On Helium Road, April 8th, 2014, a driver notices something bizarre. What appears to be a bloody body is spotted beside an SUV. Emergency vehicles are summoned to the scene. The morning after Robin goes out, Robin's mother wakes up to see Robin never returned home to sleep. Initially, she isn't concerned, as Robin occasionally spends the night with friends. But by later in the morning, Robin's parents call and text some of Robin's friends and hunt for her presence on social media. Robin's dad calls police and hospitals in the area. The Amarillo Police Department shows up to the house around 11 a.m. to file a missing persons report.
Under Texas law, there's no waiting period to report a missing person if the reporting person thinks that the missing person's life may be in danger.
Later that afternoon, a friend of Robin's alerts the family of a news article that shows a black SUV surrounded by first responder vehicles. It looks just like Robin's vehicle, and a parent's worst nightmare is about to be confirmed. A female victim is found beside the vehicle west of Amarillo, near the intersection of Helium Road and West County Road 34. She's been the victim of foul play. District Attorney James FARREN is contacted.
It was standard practice for the Sheriff's Department to contact me if a homicide had occurred, and once Robin's body was discovered at 34th and Helium, they contacted me, and I was present and offering advice and suggestions throughout their investigation.
Authorities note strange pink color smears on Robin's car window.
They saw damage to the vehicle, contact marks. They saw scratches. They saw paint, transfer of paint.
Something hard, probably metallic, had been used to strike that window several times and caused chip marks, and there was a pink smear on the window.
Hard objects come in contact, especially in a scraping motion or a hitting motion, you're going to have a transfer of paint if there's paint on that particular object.
No wallet or phone is found on the victim, who shows the signs of having engaged in a struggle.
It was obvious that she had suffered several serious blows to her head and neck and face area.
When you see that, you look, well, this person looked like they were beat up. She looks like she was beat up.
She had injuries that were consistent with several blows to her head and face. They believe she had died as a result of blunt force trauma.
This appears to be a clear-cut case of a robbery gone wrong.
Robin's wallet was missing and her cell phone was missing when the investigation began. Whoever killed Robin took her wallet and her phone. We didn't know whether, was this a robbery? Was this just a random event out on Helium Road? By mid-afternoon, the sheriff's department had contacted her parents, and her parents had confirmed that they believed that was Robin.
Police gather information from people who know Robin.
When a spouse or ex-spouse dies, one of the first people investigators look at is the spouse or ex-spouse, but other than just a general rule, they didn't have anything at that point to point to JD or Katie or anybody else. Katie indicated she didn't know anything other than what she'd heard from other people who'd called her. And JD told the same story, that he just didn't have any information that could be of help to them. He really didn't know anything about it.
In the days to follow, the Spielbauers make formal statements. JD tells investigators that after visiting with his uncle, he falls asleep on the couch.
Maybe 9:40-ish, 9:50 at home. Because I started sending text messages and calling. I sent one to my wife. She said, well, we're good. Everything's okay. I was like, okay.
About 10:15, he calls Uncle Ty and wants him to come back over to the house. JD tells Uncle Ty in the garage that night, you know, I've got a bad feeling about Robin.
I just have an uneasy feeling this seems to be about school.
JD then proceeds to send Robin a text at 10:18, asking if everyone is okay.
I didn't get a text or anything from her. I was like, okay. Tried calling her. Got a voicemail. Like, all right. Maybe she's busy sleeping. I don't know.
Police are satisfied at first.
Robin's cell phone was missing from the scene. However, the detectives were able to recover information from her service provider.
And in those text messages, it was obvious there was communication between JD and Robin, and that Robin believed they were going to meet that evening of the 7th. And so, for obvious reasons, they bring JD back into the sheriff's office and interview him and confront him with this text message information.
Police confront JD with the text messages from the missing cell phone that no one ever expected to see.
Dental insurance. Many employers don't offer it. Medicare doesn't include it. And people who work for themselves often don't consider it. But with Humana, you can still have it, starting at just $18 a month. That's about 60 cents a day. With a Humana dental plan, you'll get 100% coverage for in-network preventive care, such as oral exams, cleanings, and x-rays. Plus, you could save on fillings, crowns, and other dental procedures. How much could you save? There's a quick, easy way to find out. Call Humana now at the number on your screen. A licensed Humana agent will explain your coverage options and give you a free quote. You can choose from a large network with over 100,000 dentists and specialists nationwide. And you can have coverage in as little as 5 days. There are no age requirements, and you can't be turned down. There are a variety of plans to fit the whole family's needs and budget, plus plans designed exclusively for veterans and their families. Humana even has vision plans too, with coverage for exams, eyeglasses, and more. So whether you're looking for a dental plan, a vision plan, or both, call Humana now at the number on your screen. A licensed agent will explain your coverage options and give you a free quote. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation. Call now and discover the coverage you need at a price that'll make you smile. From Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
I used to think all doctors were the same. Then I switched to Oak Street Health. You see, this isn't your typical doctor's office. Instead of waiting around for me to get sick, they focus on keeping me healthy and feeling good. Hey, still got it.
Zion. No sugar, right?
And the best part, everyone at Oak Street Health is experienced with people my age.
At Oak Street Health, we specialize in caring for older adults like you, with a focus on keeping you healthy. So don't wait. Call today.
Zion, we're ready for you.
Here people get to know me the old-fashioned way.
By listening.
This guy takes all the notes, so my doctor is all eyes on me, and I'm never rushed out.
Ready to go?
We get to know you better with longer appointment times, including same-day and next-day appointments.
Everyone gets their own personal care team. Hey, whether it's doctors, nurses, social workers, mental health support, even someone to help me understand my Medicare benefits. They all work together for me, myself, and I. Not to mention a 24/7 patient support line.
We customized a plan for him, and we can do the same for you.
Getting the care you need has never been easier because our team members work together to handle all your healthcare needs.
And you get all this with no extra cost. They even gather all your medical records and health history. So switching to their doctors is easy. And you can keep living your life your way.
At Oak Street Health, we specialize in caring for older adults like you. Call 855-262-4837 to schedule a visit and see why we are the only primary care provider to carry the AARP name. Oak Street Health.
Attention former Marines and family members stationed to Camp Lejeune. If you lived or worked at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, for at least 30 days from August 1953 to December 1987 and have been diagnosed with cancer, neurobehavioral effects, had a child born with birth defects, or been diagnosed with fertility issues or more, significant compensation may be available. Call Legal Injury Advocates now to discuss your case. It has been proven that the water at Camp Lejeune during those years was extremely contaminated with toxic chemicals. Legal Injury Advocates has extensive experience helping you to get the maximum compensation you deserve. Don't wait until it's too late. See if you qualify today. You're not alone in this fight, and there are no upfront costs to begin your journey to justice. The call is completely free, and we're available 24 hours a day. Call Legal Injury Advocates to discuss your case now.
Call 1-800-239-0808 or visit www.lia.legal. That's 1-800-239-0808. Call now.
Looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in half. Scroll through dozens of prices and tap to switch online. That's it. No phone calls and no wasted time. Go to Insurify and save today.
At DriveTime.com, we've been hard at work, and we finally did.
Did you make it so I can finally shop at thousands of cars with no hit to my credit?
Wait, yes!
Go to DriveTime.com, get approved with no credit hit. Go to DriveTime.com, get approved, and shop your real terms with no credit hit.
Coming up next on True Crime Network.
Newlyweds Katie and JD have ever-escalating tension with JD's ex-wife. Robin is found murdered in an apparent robbery gone wrong. Data recovered from Robin's cell service provider shows that she had a meeting planned with JD the night of her murder, contrary to what he tells police.
Do you have any plans to need Robin money? No plans. How do you explain these text messages? I'm going to read these to you in case your memory's failing you.
Police ask JD to explain
believes that he wasn't completely honest with them during the first conversation. That it's true, he was supposed to meet Robin that night, but the meeting was supposed to take place at his house, which is just 2 houses down from where Robin was living with her parents. He said that they were going to meet and talk about the upcoming school year and the children and visitation and the general agenda for the children, and that she stood him up. She never showed up.
You're the last person who deserves to have contact with her, and that contact was arranging a meeting that she made.
Yes, sir. And that makes me number one suspect no matter what. Leaves me wondering too, sir.
JD claims he has good reason to keep meetings with his ex-wife secret. Robin and his wife Katie notoriously hate each other since the divorce and marriage.
His further explanation was that bad blood had developed between Katie and Robin for obvious reasons. And so this meeting, according to JD, was going to be at his house because Katie was going to be gone for the evening visiting a friend, and so it would be okay for Robin to come over. There wouldn't be a confrontation between Katie and Robin because Katie wasn't going to be home that evening.
The reason for the animosity is interesting to police.
It's understandable that Robin would feel hostility toward Katie. Katie's hostility toward Robin was actually caused by the same suspicion that Robin had. Katie had concluded that JD was now having an affair with Robin. He was married to Robin, had an affair with Katie. Now he's married to Katie, and Katie believes he's having an affair with Robin. And she is just hammering JD every day, not only in person, but later when we acquired her phone records. Her text messages for 2 or 3 weeks prior to the murder were just endless attacks, diatribes against JD. I know you're having an affair with Robin. I know you're cheating.
In fact, in the 4 days leading up to the murder, Katie sends JD no less than 336 angry text messages. Katie sends an ominous message. I'll take care of this myself. And JD appears to hint that he knows something about the murder.
You run a scenario by you. Katie's not stupid. She's pretty sharp. She finds out y'all are having a meeting that night. That's why she's pissed. That's why she's not in the house. You set the meeting up. Something really bad happened.
So you're basically all they're saying. I did something personally or physically to my wife, or I know of something.
My very soul, I believe you know what's going on here. The best I can do, giving you the benefit of every doubt I can possibly give you, is that you have some really freaking suspicions that you don't want to discuss with me.
Sir, I do have a lot of suspicions.
He did know something about the night of the 7th and something about Robin and that they were supposed to meet. But his position was, whether he lied or whether he forgot, that the meeting never occurred, that she didn't show up.
But she did show up dead on Helium Road. Investigators believe that Robin dies as a result of blunt force trauma.
During the autopsy, they find a projectile inside her skull. They x-ray the body, of course. Ballistics comes up beautiful on an x-ray. And they see a projectile. They open the skull up, they retrieve the projectile. A small caliber at the time.
The bullet removed from Robin's skull is examined.
If we get the projectile, we would weigh it. I could hold it in my hand and tell you that it's a 22 caliber. I would then reaffirm what from experience, I would throw it on the scale, check the weight. It could be a 22 caliber pistol, or it could be a 22 caliber rifle. You know, there's 2 types of firearms, several types of firearms that fire that particular caliber.
The slug recovered from Robin's brain is too deformed to perform thorough ballistic testing upon it.
Detectives went back to the scene where the body and vehicle were located and searched for a casing.
Took a large area around where the vehicle and body were, and they marked it off in grids with strings and stakes. They sifted through every square inch of that soil, and they recovered 2 broken pieces off of what looked like off of a firearm. And they also recovered a .22 caliber shell casing.
Authorities now hunt for the murder weapon.
They start looking on social media. They start looking, conducting search warrants. They start confiscating different firearms or people involved. And they seem to see this one particular gun that grabs their eye.
They find photos on social media of Katie shooting a pink gun. But then, Katie removes them.
Now, the Sheriff's Department and I realize that it is likely that if we get a search warrant of JD and Katie's house, the gun that killed Robin might be there.
When they went to the house, they were armed with information. They knew what they were looking for.
Authorities entered the Spielbauer house.
The Sheriff's Department during the search recovered probably 15 or 20 guns, several rifles, shotguns, but several pistols. Next to Katie's side of the bed in a nightstand, they recovered a 9mm, as I recall.
And they find a .22 caliber. At the time, it's a .22 caliber. We're looking for a .22 caliber. When they recovered it, they says, wait a minute. There's pink on that gun, and we have pink on the vehicle.
The pink gun is examined by a forensic officer.
Also, the gun had damage to it. It's a polymer gun. The top of it's aluminum alloy. There was pieces chipped off of it.
The pink paint samples from the crime scene match Katie's pink gun.
Eventually, the investigation determined that they were likely caused by that gun striking against the window while the window was rolled up. Obviously, this is intriguing, and obviously to the investigators and to me, this seemed like it would be important. If Robin were cowering inside the vehicle with the window up, and her assailant is beating on the window with that gun, trying to get her to open the window, and left that pink polymer smear on the window, now we know a lot more about what was happening out at Helium Road than we did before.
Suspect weapons will be test fired to get reference casings and projectiles to compare to the evidence from the scene. We do these comparisons using a comparison microscope, which is basically 2 microscopes joined by an optical bridge. So we can look at the test fires and compare them to the evidence from the scene.
In a semi-automatic, the casing can be just as important in identifying the firearm. When that casing is extracted from the semi-automatic, it leaves extraction marks on the casing that are unique to that gun. Fairly quickly, ballistics was able to match the shell casing recovered out at the scene to that .22. And the gun belonged to Katie. And nobody else ever used this gun, only Katie. There were pictures of her all over Facebook firing the gun. There were pictures of her teaching her children how to target practice using that gun. Everybody knew that was her gun.
With a clear match to her gun, Katie is brought in for questioning.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I liked it, because I didn't. My father died when I was 2. I buried my mother when I was 18 years old. I know what it feels like to grow up without a parent. I would never do that to anybody. I'm not a murderer. I may be a lot of things, and I'm not a murderer.
Her text messages, however, seem to tell another story.
On the 7th, the last communication she had with JD was a text message in which, again, about 3 o'clock, she accuses JD again of having an affair with Robin. He denies it again, and she says, I'll take care of this myself. I'll put an end to it. 7, 8 hours later, Robin's dead with a bullet in her brain, and so it was easy to think, well, I guess she took care of it.
JD tells investigators his version of events.
Got in the taxi with her and we just talking about girls. The stars just coming up.
JD put Katie at the scene of the murder. Eventually, he admits he went out to Helium Road and 34th to meet Robin. He claims that Katie then showed up and caught them there together.
A few moments later, you're tapping on the glass, end up opening the door, and I see Katie there. Which took me by surprise.
And that's the last time JD says he sees Robin alive.
If you live in rural America and want better high-speed internet at home, say hello to the new HughesNet.
Hi!
Now you can do it all. Connect, stream, and play wherever you live.
Now you can shop till you drop because your internet won't.
Now I can video conference with confidence.
The new HughesNet is Jupiter-powered with unlimited data and faster speeds than ever before.
Now I can stream up anything I can dream up.
That's right.
And HughesNet Fusion plans combine satellite and wireless technologies for a faster, more responsive internet experience.
How? There's no shame in my game.
Oh, game on.
This is satellite internet reinvented.
Nice.
Call now and get free professional installation and save $25 a month for 12 months.
This changes everything.
Yes, it does.
Now it's your chance to get the new HughesNet. Call 1-800-617-7624.
I'm Richard Karn, and I love my hose. My hose is lightweight. My hose will not kink. And my hose is anti-leak. It ain't those old hoses. This is my hose. The new pocket hose Copper Bullet, now infused with real copper, so your water is always clean and lead-free. Just turn on the water and watch your hose grow and grow to a full-size 3/4-inch hose. It stretches and expands like a rubber band. And when you turn off the water, away it goes, shrinking and squeezing that water out until it's practically bone dry. And that makes it easy to carry and put away. Our new inner tube uses 3 layers of high-strength latex on the inside. Then it's wrapped in a new polymer filament jacket, similar to the technology used in forest fire hoses because it's light and tough, 3 times stronger than the other hoses. It's guaranteed for 10 years, nearly impossible to tear or snag. And the redesigned connector protector helps stop leaks at the spigot. But my favorite part of our new hose build, the oversized, easy-to-grip fittings. Easy on and off, even with gloves. With more than 100 patents worldwide, it's the best pocket hose in the world. Get the super light 25-foot pocket hose Copper Bullet today for only $29.99. But wait, call now and get our copper spray nozzle with our exclusive thumb drive free. Simply use your thumb to turn off and on. And with 10 unique patterns, you'll have a setting for every job. It's a $30 value, yours free with every 50-foot Copper Bullet. But it's not available in stores. This is an exclusive release of our newest pocket hose. There is a strict limit of 3 per order, so don't wait. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-380-2741 or visit copperbulletHose.com. So call 1-800-380-2741 or visit copperbulletHose.com. Order now.
They were gunned down.
This is a Stone Cold Killer.
Now, determined detectives will have to trace the ballistics to track down their shooter.
We are all hands on deck.
Targeted for murder. Next on True Crime Network.
Robin Spielbauer is murdered, and her ex-husband JD lies to police about their meeting on the night of her murder.
So JD changes his story again and tells police that he did go to Helium Road on the night of Robin's murder. However, he was just talking to Robin about the kids. He states that Robin was still alive when he left the scene.
But Katie's furious texts seem to tell a tale of murder. In JD's telling of events, he leaves his uncle and goes to Helium Road to speak with Robin. But there's more. JD says Katie shows up unexpectedly.
They're bickering back at each other. I'm trying to stop the bickering. I just put my foot down and say that this isn't what it looks like. We're talking about the girls. That's it. She says something along the lines of, yeah, get out of here. I'll turn to Katie. I'll tell her, excuse me, Carter, just go on. Put my foot down. This is done. I'll shut her door. And I'll go walking back to my truck.
He says, well, by the way, those chip marks on the window, that didn't happen while I was there. That had to have happened after I left because there weren't any chip marks on the window when I left.
Katie attests she and her son Diego spend the evening with friends and leave about 10:13. However, Katie's best friend can't confirm that. She believes Katie left at 9:50, which would give Katie time to kill Robin.
JD tells the police that he originally lied because he thinks that Katie may have killed Robin and he wanted to protect her.
Forgive me for it ended up misleading anybody. I was hoping that this wasn't true. Seriously. I still love Katie with everything I got.
Katie, however, is starting to have suspicions of her own.
I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe JD did it.
Katie demands a polygraph test to prove her innocence. With her pink gun established as the murder weapon and her husband's eyewitness testimony against her, this is a last-ditch attempt by Katie.
Polygraphs are not admissible in most criminal courts. However, police often use them as investigative aids to help include or exclude suspects.
Katie fails not one, but 2 polygraph tests. The case against her stacks higher and higher. Authorities trace Katie's cell phone and discover the night of the murder, it registers a ping off a cell phone tower.
The digital information we get from a ping tells us whether you're checking your voicemail or whether you're having a conversation or what it is you're doing on the phone. It tells us what time it took place. And it tells us you're within the range of the cell tower.
The information places Katie in a location and timeline that indicates she could have been leaving the scene of the murder.
And so when we added all that up, and the sheriff's department brought me all of that information, I filed a murder charge against Katie Spielbauer.
Katie steadfastly maintains her innocence.
I did not do this. That's not true. I don't know.
She was arrested and charged with the murder of Robin Spielbauer. After Katie had been sitting in jail for about a year, waiting trial, charged with the murder of Robin, one of the secretaries in my office mentioned that she had seen a fascinating show on television the night before, and it had to do with Wi-Fi tracking of cell phones. And we asked her, said, "Now you mean cell towers?" And she said, "No, this is different. This Wi-Fi tracking can give you the location of a cell phone down to about 30 meters." Well, this was total news to me.
Authorities reinterpret the Wi-Fi data from the night of the murder and come to a shocking conclusion.
When I got all of this information and I talked to a dozen different experts, I realized I'd locked up the wrong person. Sorry.
July 20th, 2015, I got a call from my attorney, and he said, "Katie, Mr. Farren wants to speak with you tomorrow, and when he gets there, I need you to just sit down and be quiet." So then Mr. Farren came down to the jail, and then he turned to me and he said, "I got the phone records back." I said, "It's about time." He said, "You were never on Helium Road." I said, "I've been telling you that for 15 and a half months. He said, "Today I'm going to dismiss your case." And I fell out of the chair and I hit my knees and I started thanking God and praying and crying.
It was gut-wrenching. I wanted to personally apologize to her and tell her we were going to do everything we could to make it right.
With Katie innocent, suspicion immediately falls upon JD.
I was so angry, but at some point I had to make the decision. If he was able to kill Miss Spielbauer number 1, and he was able to frame Miss Spielbauer number 2, what's he going to do to Miss Spielbauer number 3? It took some time to heal and get over the anger, but eventually I told Farren, "Whatever you need, I will help you."
Authorities now listen to what Katie has to say about JD. The day after Robin's murder, Katie confronts JD.
And I said, "What did you do? What did you do?" And he looked at me and he said, "I don't know what you're talking about." I said, "Yes, you do. You know exactly what I'm talking about. What did you do?" And JD to somebody I've never seen before. And he grabbed me by the throat, and he pushed me up against the wall, and he got right in my face, and he said, I handled the problem. And I just turned ice cold. And his eyes went from this demonic darkness back to JD, and you could see it in his eyes. He thought, oh my gosh, why did I say that? Now she knows. Now she knows. And I just looked at him. What do you mean you handle the problem?
JD's a clever man. He's a very clever individual. I've tried 6 capital murder trials, but this is the most amazing case of my career.
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves in getting you the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. But don't worry, we've got a lot more than that going for us.
Woo. Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have flip phones like the Iris Flip. If you're someone that doesn't need all that mumbo-jumbo and just wants something simple. And now, we even have watches.
We do.
No matter what device you choose, you'll be happy to know that if your data needs change,
No problem.
with our SmartFlex feature, you don't have to sweat it. Like say you're on a road trip out west and end up using a bunch of data. We can simply flex you up to the next data tier for as little as $5. Then, when you get home, you can flex right back down with no penalty, so you only pay for what you actually need.
With Consumer Cellular, you get the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost.
I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Will our award-winning customer service help me switch over or add a line for $15 to make my own family plan?
Of course they will.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
You see that tower out there? It's a beauty. And there are thousands more like it, working hard for me and you, supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of ours. We know how important coverage is. That's why we offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation, you can pay nothing. Oh, look.
New customers who buy any phone get 2 months of service free when they sign up by July 31st. Call 800-311-5340 or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Dental insurance. Many employers don't offer it. Medicare doesn't include it. And people who work for themselves often don't consider it. But with Humana, you can still have it, starting at just $18 a month. That's about 60 cents a day. With the Humana dental plan, you'll get 100% coverage for in-network preventive care, such as oral exams, cleanings, and x-rays. Plus, you could save on fillings, crowns, and other dental procedures. How much could you save? There's a quick, easy way to find out. Call Humana now at the number on your screen. A licensed Humana agent will explain your coverage options and give you a free quote. You can choose from a large network with over 100,000 dentists and specialists nationwide. And you can have coverage in as little as 5 days. There are no age requirements, and you can't be turned down. There are a variety of plans to fit the whole family's needs and budget, plus plans designed exclusively for veterans and their families. Humana even has vision plans too, with coverage for exams, eyeglasses, and more. So whether you're looking for a dental plan, a vision plan, or both, call Humana now at the number on your screen. A licensed agent will explain your coverage options and give you a free quote. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation. Call now and discover the coverage you need at a price that'll make you smile. From Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
If you have ugly yellow toe fungus, let me tell you about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. It's called Crystal Flush. It works from the inside and the outside. I mean, he tried everything. Nothing helped. His toes were nasty. Crystal Flush is the only thing that's worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. And you can try it risk-free. You have nothing to lose. Go check it out now. Go to crystalflush.com.
Everything Breaks is a new kind of auto protection plan that gives you more. You gotta have a protection plan, or you'll be paying the huge cost of auto repair on your own. Some plans charge you $150 a month, but for less than $1 a day, Everything Breaks can protect you from crippling auto repair bills that you can't afford. Call the number on your screen now for a no-obligation quote.
I like Everything Breaks because they have lots of different plans. It's really affordable and they have really good customer service.
Everything Breaks also includes 24-hour roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental cars. With our loyalty program, you can earn rewards like free oil changes and brake pads. Everything Breaks covers more than cars, so act now, and coverage for your smartphone will be included free. That's auto and phone protection for one low price. It's only a matter of time until something breaks, so don't wait. Call now to join the millions of satisfied customers and start saving thousands on your repair bills.
Call 800-313-9059 or visit everythingbreaks.com.
J.D. Spielbauer implicates his wife, Katie Spielbauer, as the killer of his ex-wife, Robin. Katie sits in jail awaiting trial for 467 days. But when the DA's secretary learns about new technology for tracing cell phone signals, Katie is cleared of suspicion and set free. Authorities look for clues with fresh eyes and a new suspect.
As Sherlock Holmes says, when you've eliminated every other possibility, whatever's left has to be the truth.
And finally, I said to them, you're telling me that not one single business in that area has cameras? And that's when they went and found the video footage from the ATM where they saw Robin's car, and then they saw JD's truck, and then they saw JD's truck come back.
Surveillance video from a bank shows Robin Spielbauer driving past an Amarillo National Bank branch at 9:21 p.m. en route to the scene of the murder. It also shows J.D. Spielbauer driving past at 9:27 p.m. and driving back the other way at 9:50 p.m. As investigators search for more evidence against J.D., one of J.D.'s ex-girlfriends has more to say than she initially let on.
We actually interviewed her 3 times because our original source kept saying she's not telling you everything she knows, she's just afraid of JD. We finally brought her back the 3rd time and under threat of a grand jury subpoena, and she said, all right, I'll tell you, but you've got to protect me from JD.
To the astonishment of authorities, the woman speaks with JD just days before Robin's murder.
They sit out on the front porch of her grandmother's house where she lived, and JD tells her about his problems with Robin and Katie, and how Robin is just driving him nuts about child support and visitation, and they're having all kinds of problems, and he would just be better off if she were out of their lives. In fact, the best thing that could happen would be for her to have a bullet in her brain. And 5 days later, she had a bullet in her brain.
Not only is the testimony incriminating, it also points to a pattern of behavior in JD's relationships.
I was his property. He told me where I could go, what I could wear. If he didn't want me to leave the house, he would take fuses out of my car.
Eventually, in the course of the investigation of the murder of Robin Spielbauer, J.D. Spielbauer gave 4 different versions of what happened that night.
JD has left a trail of clues that let investigators know he's anything but innocent. Finally, authorities are able to put the pieces together.
In his 4th version, his lie, he says, well, by the way, those chip marks on the window, that didn't happen while I was there. That had to have happened after I left, because there weren't any chip marks on the window when I left.
He claimed that he saw the marks while the vehicle was parked at the sheriff's office for processing.
So I contacted the sheriff's department, and they started laughing. And I said, what is so funny? And they said, we took that window out of the vehicle and sent it to the lab in Lubbock. It's been in the lab in Lubbock 120 miles away since the day after the investigation started. So unless he can see from here to Lubbock, he didn't see any chip marks on the window at the sheriff's department.
As police police revisit the evidence they had collected from the initial investigation. More and more clues fall into place.
When they executed the search warrant on the house, JD's standing there next to me and he says, "You know they're going to take all of our guns, right?" He was so nervous about that.
Now, at the time, nobody thought that was important. But looking back later, how did JD know they were going to look for guns? Everybody thought Robin died from blunt force trauma. Why would they be looking for guns? The only person who knew a gun would be important was the person that killed her.
We had approximately 8 firearms in the house. The only gun that was registered to me, the only one that I ever actually purchased, was a pink .22. Every time we would take it to the shooting range, it would jam.
From the very beginning, I should have been puzzled as to why. Why would Katie take a gun that malfunctions all the time out to kill Robin when she had a wonderful 9mm that works perfectly well? And it's a larger caliber, much more effective if you want to kill somebody. If it's Katie that killed Robin, it doesn't make much sense. But if it's JD, it makes all the sense in the world. He knows that everybody knows the .22 is Katie's gun.
Finally, another piece of evidence falls into place.
We learned during the investigation that Robin carried in her wallet her own Social Security card and the Social Security card of her 2 children. Eventually, we knew those were the only Social Security cards ever issued for those 2 children. During the search of JD's truck, the deputy found inside his console 2 Social Security cards, the Social Security cards of JD and Robin's 2 children. If Robin always carried those Social Security cards in her wallet, how did they end up in JD's truck?
How indeed, unless JD is with Robin the night of her murder. For the murder of his ex-wife, Robin Spielbauer, Jeremy Spielbauer is sentenced to life in prison with parole eligibility in 2046.
We want to get the bad guys and protect the good guys. It is our worst nightmare that we lock up the wrong person. But Katie spent 467 days locked in a cell because I ignored evidence that was available. I just didn't look at it close enough. I didn't look at it with an open mind.
But in the end, the evidence saves Katie. She goes on to earn a degree in legal studies.
When I was released from jail, I immediately started school. I'm the first person in my family to graduate college. I got a bachelor's degree in legal studies, and I work as a defense paralegal for a wonderful attorney here in town.
Now divorced from JD Spielbauer, she vows to work to help those who are wrongly accused.
I am also the director of strategy for a nonprofit called Ignite You First. Our goal is to break generational cycles of trauma and to build hope